Striker Scorpion 82 is now sponsored by Warhammer Combat Cards, a card battle game featuring your favourite Citadel miniatures from the 40k universe. Build your army decks, dominate opponents in player versus player action, collect and upgrade cards to fit your strategy, improve their power and unlock unique traits. Choose from all 40k factions, take part in campaigns based on iconic 40k battles, rise to the top of the leaderboard and win glory. Free to download and play, link is in the video description below or on the channel homepage, and by using the unique link it helps support the channel. Thanks and enjoy the game. Right, welcome to this Codex review. It's for the brand new Grey Knights Codex here. A big thank you to Games Workshop for sending me a copy through the post. This will be a full review, so we'll go through the whole book and just go through things like Warlord Traits, stratagems, and it'll be like a Tactica review as well. So if I was to collect Grey Knights, I'll sort of indicate what the best choices would be, but a lot of tactical discussion as well in this video. So a longer video, but a chance just to really take our time and go through the Codex here in some detail. 1000 Suns Codex has come out as well. That is live, that review, so check that one out as well. It should be live on the channel. Just to mention at this stage, the channel sponsors, it's Goblin Gaming. They do discount 40k, plus a whole lot of other gaming systems and accessories and paints and so on, all at a discounted rate. If you are going to purchase from them, then use the affiliate link below. It's in the video description. It's no cost to you, but if you do use that link, then it helps support the channel in a small way and is much appreciated. So for Grey Knights, I've always admired the Grey Knights, always loved the concept of them and the colour scheme, and very much in favour of collecting them, although I haven't at this stage. But a lovely range of models that stood the test of time. You know, some of their model ranges in plastic have been out for a long time, but they're still fantastic models. And now really all they're looking for is just a decent codex. So is that the case here? We'll have to see. And as per usual, if you've got your own comments about the codex and the rules changes and so on, then leave that in the comment section below. And check out the comment section. There may well be some experienced Grey Knight players there that you can glean some experience and advice from, but they're in stark contrast here to a lot of the strange demonic stuff that they have to fight against. I love the silver, the blue, the red, the white. That whole colour scheme is fantastic. So there they are. It's Grey Knights going against the strange, dark weirdness that lurks in the 40k universe. Talking about Titan here, so the background fluff and information. Again, as per usual, lovely layout here for these codexes, all spaced out nicely, not crammed in. Plenty of fluff and background, nice sort of pictures and illustrations as well, which can help you very much as you paint your army and theme your army. You can come back to these for ideas for markings on your models and so on. They are fighting against the demons, the Brotherhoods, the Ward Makers. And the theme of these, I guess, is very sort of psychic heavy here to combat some of the psychic heavy chaos stuff that's out there. Different Brotherhoods, Chambers of Purity. So much fluff here. These codexes are fantastic. Hall of Champions, Warzone Manesque, the Armory of Titan. Talk about the units and war gear that's available. A hidden tapestry, and then you come to a showcase for the models, again giving you an idea of some markings to use. There's the models there. It's in plastic. I think they've been out for a good long time now, but still a strong colour scheme, and the sculpts on these are still brilliant. So whoever sculpted these originally, brilliant job. The paladins here, beautiful stuff. Really good. And then you can take some of the Space Marine vehicles and then bring them over for Grey Knights, and they look pretty good. Land Raid looks fantastic. I do love the markings across here. Very, very nice indeed. Always battling weirdness here. Nurgle, Khorne, fighting against them. Castellan Crow, the resculpt. There is the Grandmaster Voldus as well, brilliant model, really nice sculpt on him. And then this new Castellan Crow model here, fantastic job. So I've just shown you him. I mean, brilliant job. Fantastic sculpt there. So I'm sure Grey Knight players happy to see Castellan Crow redone. And an amazing model, really good work. Maybe that's all it needs sometimes. It's a shame when a codex comes out and the faction's neglected and you get nothing new at all, but just to chuck in a couple of extra models, even just the one here, just to add something else to the collection, it's a good move. Once again, just fighting against Chaos Demons. Maybe you're at a War Games Club and you're fed up with Chaos Demons, well, you need to get Grey Knights to purge them. So let's onto the rules then. And we'll take a look here. Now I'm not too familiar with Grey Knights, so as I'm not going to do too much comparison from the last set of rules here, but I'll run through all the new stuff. And then, as I said earlier on, check out the comment section, see if this is an improvement or not. We should be expecting an improvement on the last codex to some degree. So detachment abilities then. You need all Grey Knight keywords as per usual. If your army's battle forged, Grey Knights detachments gain the Brotherhood command ability. Grey Knights and Grey Knights detachments gain the Aegis ability. Yes, that's these two sort of universal rules as long as you keep everything in the right keywords. Grey Knight troops and Grey Knights detachments gain objectives secured as per usual. So Brotherhood command. I think this is structure. You can include a maximum of one Grandmaster model and one Brother Captain in each detachment in your army. Each Grandmaster model in your army must be from a different Brotherhood. Each Brother Captain must be from a different Brotherhood. So some restrictions there, but not very restrictive at all. You're pretty much free to do what you want. Just a bit of structure there for the command. And then the Aegis rules here. Each time model in this unit would lose a wound as a result of a mortal wound. It's a 5+ feel no pain for that, so it's across the board if they have the Aegis ability, which is great. And if this unit is a Psyker, add 1 to deny the witch test taken for this unit. So with that theme of battling against enemy Psykers and so on. But two pretty good rules across the board there. Then Brotherhood of Psykers comes next. If your army's battle forged, Brotherhood units and Grey Knight detachments gain access to the following Brotherhood of Psyker rules, provided that every unit in that detachment, excluding Agent of the Imperium Unaligned Honoured Knight units, is from the same Brotherhood. Such a detachment is referred to as a Brotherhood of Psykers detachment. So, psychic powers, each Brotherhood has an associated Brotherhood psychic power. All Grey Knights, Brotherhood Psykers in a Brotherhood Psykers detachment know the relevant Brotherhood psychic power. So, you're going to get themed Brotherhoods here with unique powers. Warlord Traits will be the same, you get a themed one, access to that. And stratagems, you get a themed one as well. Yeah, the relevant Brotherhood stratagems. So it's the usual common sense structure here. So we'll take a look at the Brotherhoods next. And I guess if I was collecting Grey Knights, I'll try and pick one that would work best for me and one that's strong enough. And I guess with Grey Knights, you'd be looking at obviously an elite army, an army that's prepared to use firepower, but I guess close combat's going to be the main strength for them. So trying to get into close combat, trying to hit hard in close combat, and sort of ambush style stuff going on as well, deep striking units landing in, and then using superiority in close combat. So looking for abilities to help get into close combat and hit hard in close combat were the two things that I'm looking for. And I guess also to help enhance my psychic phase as well. I don't make a lot of units going to be using psychic powers, so you want to try and make that as effective as possible as well. Chance to overwhelm the opponent in the psychic phase with lots of powers coming through. So those kind of areas I'll be looking to strengthen. We'll see which of these Brotherhoods works the best. So Sword Bearers first of all. So you get unique stratagem, Marked for Death, this one's called. It's 2 CP. Use the stratagem at the start of your shooting phase, select one enemy unit within 12 and visible to a Sword Bearer's Psyker unit from your army. At the end of that phase, each time a friendly Sword Bearer's unit makes a ranged attack against that enemy unit, add 1 to attacks hit rolls, +1 to hit rolls. And so you've got to get within range. It's got to be a unit within 12 inches of a Psyker, Sword Bearer's Psyker, and then you play it against that enemy unit, and then everybody gets to shoot it with +1 to the hit roll. So that is excellent. Off to a good start. Psychic Power, Empiric Lodestone. It's Malediction. Empiric Lodestone has a warp charge value of 7. If manifested, select one enemy unit within 18 of this Psyker. No line of sight needed, I think. Until the start of the next psychic phase, each time a friendly sword bearer's vehicle unit makes a ranged attack against the enemy unit, one attack's wound roll. The unit can only be selected for the psychic power once per phase. Well, that is another excellent. So obviously, you take that if you're running vehicles in your list, Dreadnoughts, Land Raiders, and so on. That's all good. Okay, and then Warlord Trait, Rights of Protection. If your Warlord has the Warlord Trait, it can attempt to perform the following psychic action. Rights of Protection. That's warp charge value of 5. In your psychic phase, this Warlord can attempt to perform this psychic action. If completed, select one friendly swordbearer's vehicle model within 12 inches of the Warlord to the start of the next psychic phase. It's a 4+ invuln save. Nice. Put that on a Land Raider. Not that Land Raiders are very popular, but maybe you can make them work better with these kind of bonuses for Grey Knights. Yep. Because effectively, you could get +1 to your hit rolls with Mark for Death. You get +1 to your wound rolls, and you grant a 4+ invuln save. So you could do something. So it seems to be vehicle themed for sword bearers. Blades of Victory next. Radiant Strike 1 CP, uses stratagem in the command phase, and a Blades of Victory core infantry unit from your army finishes a charge move. Select one enemy unit within engagement range of the Blades of Victory unit. Roll 1d6 for each model in that Blades of Victory unit that is within engagement range of the enemy unit. Each dice roll that equals or exceeds that enemy unit's toughness characteristic suffers a mortal wound. That's not too bad at all. Really is not too bad at all, that one. Great. Psychic Power, Inescapable Pursuit. It's a blessing. Warp charge value of 6. If manifested until the start of the next psychic phase, you can reroll charge rolls made for this psychic unit. So get an idea with this one. You've got vehicle theme going on here, close combat bonuses going on with this one. So nicely, I'm already getting the impression, nicely arranged and distinctive here. It's not all odd, silly rules like one unit gets to reroll ones, and it's all random and mixed up. You get nice themed abilities going on here with these Brotherhoods, so good move here. Warlord Trait, Vanguard Aggression. After deployment, you can select one friendly Blades of Victory core unit within 9 inches of this Warlord. The Warlord and the selected unit can make a normal move up to 6, and that could maybe help you get into close combat. Maybe. Only a 6-inch move though, but you get that. That's the Warlord Trait. So next is Ward Makers. Maybe some psychic help going on with this one. Lovely banners, by the way. So, Masters of the Word, 1 CP. Use the stratagem in your command phase. Select one War Master character, Ward Maker's character unit from your army. Select one Psychic Power from the Dominus Discipline. That model does not know to replace one of the psychic powers that it does. I'm not sure on the wording on that one. I'll give it that. Select one Psychic Power for the Dominus Discipline. That model does not know to replace one of the psychic powers that it does. Does what? I don't know. I'm not sure what they mean by that. Okay, a bit confusing. Next, Psychic Power, Projection of Purity, Malediction. Projection of Purity is a warp charge value of 6. If manifested, select one enemy unit within 12 inches of this Psycho. To the start of your next psychic phase, that unit is not affected by the aura abilities of models from its own army, so you can shut down auras. Tricky enough though, that one. Okay, and then Warlord Trait, Lawmaster. Each time a psychic test is taken for this Warlord, if the result of that test is an unmodified result of 8 or more, and it was greater or equal to the power's warp charge value, your opponent cannot attempt to deny that power. Okay, not bad, but there is a requirement to get that. So that's okay. Ward Makers, not so good. Prescient Brethren next. Nice banner for these guys. Foresight, 1 CP. Use your stratagem in your shooting phase when a Prescient Psyker's Brethren Psyker unit from your army is selected to shoot, or in the fight phase when a Prescient Brethren Psyker unit from your army fights. At the end of the phase, each time model that unit makes an attack, reroll a hit roll of 1 and reroll a wound roll of 1. So it's alright. It's probably better on a character with less attacks, but more significant attacks. It would help with that, but on a larger unit, it's not that amazing. Psychic power, fatal precognition. The warp charge value of 5. If manifested, select one enemy unit within 12 inches of the Psyker. To the start of your next psychic phase, each time that enemy unit makes a normal move, advances, falls back, or makes a charged move, roll 1d6. On a 4 to 5, that enemy unit suffers d3 mortal wounds. On a 6, the enemy unit suffers 3 mortal wounds. The unit cannot be selected for this psychic power, or once per phase. Okay. And then Warlord Trait Divination. If your Warlord has the Warlord Trait, it can then use Divination, Psychic Action, Warp Charge value of 6. In your Psychic phase, this Warlord can attempt to perform this Psychic Action. If completed, you gain the CP. So, if he's got nothing else to do, I suppose it's useful enough. I think the first two are pretty good. So far, it's quite distinct and clear with their abilities, Blades of Victory and Sword Bearers. We'll move on to the Preservers next. Charge of the Ancients. 1 CP. Use a stratagem before the battle. When you muster your army, select one Preserver's Dreadnought model from your army. That model has a move characteristic of 8. You can reroll charge rolls for that model. Each time that model fights, if it made a charge move this turn, then until the fight is resolved, add 1 to the damage characteristic and melee weapons that model is equipped with. So all that sounds pretty good. You can only use a stratagem once, unless you're playing an onslaught battle, in which case you can use it twice on 2 different Preservers Dreadnought models from your army. Oh, you get to use it once though. Shame. Aegis Eternal is a blessing. Warp charge of 6. If manifested to the start of your next psychic phase, each time model on this Psyker's unit would lose a wound. Roll 1d6. On a 6, that wound is not lost. While this Psyker's unit is within 3 inches of any Grey Knight's Apothecary, if this Psyker's unit is infantry, that wound is not lost on a 5+. Instead, the Warlord trait is plus 3 inches to the range of aura abilities for the Warlord. So Preservers is alright, not bad. Rapiers next. Deadly Efficacy. So far, I would probably go at the moment with Blades of Victory. And if I did Grey Knights, I'd run mostly infantry, I reckon. I would be loath to bring Space Marine stuff across and paint them up in silver. I'd maybe do a few bits, but I'd mainly aim on hard-hitting Terminator Paladin type units and Dragonite units hitting hard in close combat, so I like Blades of Victory for that. But we'll see what angle Rapiers comes from here. 1 CP for Deadly Efficiency, or Efficacy, sorry. Use a stratagem in the fight phase and Rapier's unit from army is selected to fight. At the end of the phase, each time model on that unit makes a melee attack, an unmodified hit roll of 6 scores an extra hit, so it's not bad. Psychic power, Symphonic Strike. So warp charge value of 6. If manifested until the start of the next psychic phase, add 1 to the attack's characteristic of models in this Psyker's unit. Again, that's really nice. So I'm liking the look of Rapiers here as well. And Warlord trait, Inescapable Wrath. This is to make it a good one. The Warlord is eligible to declare a charge even if they advanced, and that's not bad either. So Rapier's pretty good if you're going to go for close combat. The Exactors next. Sanctic Guardians. Use 1 CP. Use your stratagem in the Heroic Interventions step of your opponent's charge phase. Select one Exactus unit from your army that's not within engagement range of any enemy units. To the end of the phase, that unit can perform Heroic Intervention as if they were a character, so not bad. It's quite tricky, that ability. I've seen it before and it's quite rare that it's used. So yeah, maybe not. Witch Fire. Fires of Covenant has a warp charge value of 5. If manifested, select one enemy unit within engagement range of the Psyker's unit. So it's easy to make it go off. Roll 1d6 for each model in the enemy unit. For each 4+, the enemy unit suffers a mortal wound. If the Psyker manifesting this power has the Psychic Epitome Warlord trait, the enemy suffers 1 additional mortal wound after all these dice rolls have been made. Each unit can only be selected for this Psychic power once per turn. So hang on a second. Yeah, no way. Kyo. Right. That's incredibly good. There's no cap on it. 4 pluses for mortal wounds. Let's just wait here. No, it's crazy because it says for each model in that enemy unit, not even engagement range, you know, which would limit the number of models perhaps. It's just 30 enemy models in that unit. You roll 30 dice, getting 4 pluses for mortal wounds. Crazy. That's really, really good. Easy to make it go off. You just have to be in close combat. Now, the tricky bit to this one is your psychic phase is obviously before the charge phase. You've got to already have been in close combat to then make this power go off. So that could be an issue. It's not a case of you choosing when you're gonna, you know, you can maneuver yourself into position to line up a power. You can't do that. You've got to be in that situation to use it, and that may not come up at all in a game, for example. So it's good, but it's limited availability with it. But it is very good indeed. The Warlord trait is Oath of Witness. One of the Warlord's leadership characteristic. Then while a friendly exactor's core unit is within 6 inches of this Warlord, a morale test taken for that unit are auto pass. Auto pass morale, whether that's a massive issue for Grey Knights or not. Whether you'd want multiple units clumping together, especially with Grey Knight, it's just limited sized army. So exactors, that's okay. So I'm liking rapiers as well at the moment. So those two are good, the rapiers and then the sword people, blades of victory. Next is silver blade, sounds good. Adaptive excoriation. 1 CP, uses stratagem in your movement phase. When a silver blade's core unit from your army falls back, the unit is eligible to shoot this turn even though it fell back. So that's not too bad at all, but you're only eligible to shoot. Disaster. So yeah, it could help. It's difficult though. A core unit. Yeah, okay, it's not. It's tricky, that one, because you're pulling out of combat to shoot only, no charges, no close combat. Annoying. I'm sure a lot of people would rather pay 2 CP to be able to fall back and shoot and charge, but it's limited to that. Psychic power is temporal accuracy. So warp charge value of 5. If manifested until the start of your next psychic phase, all Stormbolters, Mastercraft Stormbolters, relics that replace either of these weapons that models in this psychic unit are equipped with are treated as being Pistol 4, with a range characteristic of 12. Psychic phase, yeah. So you can play that on a unit that's stuck in combat, for example. Nice. So that's pretty useful. Warlord Traits, Martial Perfection. Start of the psychic phase. Start of the fight phase. If this Warlord is within engagement range of enemy units, it can fight first this phase. And then each time the Warlord makes a melee attack, you reroll the hit rolls. That's not too bad at all, that one. That is actually very, very good. Excellent Warlord trait, that one. Fight first. Reroll hit rolls. Brilliant. Yeah, excellent, excellent Warlord trait. Really good. Thinking like a Nemesis Grandmaster, for example. Stick that trait on him. Fight first. Reroll hit rolls. Fantastic. Really, really good. Yep. And that's it. So that's those Brotherhood options. There's some good ones in there. It's nice rules there. Not pitiful rules. Some of them actually have some very, very good rules indeed. Wisdom of the Prognosticars. So if your army's battle forged and includes any Grey Knights detachments, excluding super heavy auxiliary fortifications and auxiliary support, then when you're mustering your army, you can upgrade any of the Grey Knight character models in your army by giving them either a vision of the Augurium or a gift of the Prescient, chosen from those presented here. Each time you do so, that character model's power rating is increased, or points go up. Make a note of it in your roster. Named characters can't be given these upgrades. Each character model cannot have more than one of these upgrades, and an army or a crusade force cannot include the same upgrade more than once. Visions of the Augurium and gifts of the Prescient are not considered to be relics for any rules purposes. This means a character can be equipped with both a relic and one of these upgrades. A crusade force of any characters having a vision of the Augurium or gift of Prescient To do so, you must use the Consult the Prognosticar's requisition on page 72. So, they've introduced this across the codexes here. It's just extra stuff you can take. So, visions first of all. So I'll maybe call them out and then refer back to your points values here for each of these, and then we'll go to the gifts of the Prescient after that as well. 6 for each. Okay. So Augury of Aggression. It's 1 power level or 20 points. Once per battle, when a friendly Grey Knight's core or Grey Knight's character unit within 12 inches of this model is selected to fire Overwatch, this model can experience this vision. If it does, then until the end of the phase, each time model that unit makes an Overwatch attack, it's an unmodified roll of 4+ to hit. So it sounds very powerful. But again, you've got to have the right situation to use it, so not bad. Heroism's Favour, next. Costs you 1 power level or 15 points. Once per battle, at the end of the opponent's charge phase, you can select one friendly Grey Knight's core unit within 12 inches of this model. That unit can perform heroic intervention as if it were a character. If you can remember to do that, then that's very, very useful indeed. Next is A Noble Death. Now this is 20 points and 1 power level. Once per battle in your command phase, this model can experience this vision. If it does, until the start of the next command phase, it gains the following ability: A Noble Death Aura. While a friendly Grey Knight's core or character unit is within 6 inches of this model, it gains the objective secured and can set to defend. If a model that unit already has the objective secured ability, then it counts as each additional model as an extra one for determining who controls the objective marker. So again, that one's pretty strong. There's strong stuff going on here for the Grey Knights. Really? Quite impressed so far. Omen of Incursion next. Now this will cost you 30 points and 2 power level. Once per battle, at the end of the reinforcement step of your opponent's movement phase, this model can experience this vision. If it does, select one Grey Knight's core or character unit from your army that is not within engagement range of enemy units. The unit can shoot as if it were the shooting phase, but its models can only target a single eligible enemy unit that was set up as reinforcements this turn, and that is within 12 inches of other units when doing so. So you can catch enemy units out when they try and ambush you. Could be helpful enough, and again, it's that kind of power where you may not end up using it in the game at all, depending. It's all very situational. Presaged Paralysis. This will cost just 15 points on 1 power level. Once per battle, at the start of your charge phase, if this model is on the battlefield, you can select one enemy unit that's on the battlefield. To the end of the phase, that unit cannot fire Overwatch or set to defend. So not bad, useful enough, I guess. Yeah, okay, not bad at all. And then Foretelling of Locus. Costs you 2 power level or 30 points. After both players have deployed their armies, select up to 3 Grey Knight's core units from your army and redeploy them. If the mission uses the Strategic Reserves rules, any of those units can be placed in Strategic Reserves without having to spend any additional CPs. Wow. God. Regardless of how many units are already in Strategic Reserves. If both players have abilities that redeploy units, roll off. The winner chooses who redeploys the units first. That is so good. The ability to deep strike in with more of your army and 3 core units. That's a lot of stuff for Grey Knights. God. It's very, very powerful. Really, really good. So then the question then becomes, what I'd be looking for in this book is trying to get an efficient way of charging in from deep strike. 9 inches is too risky and unlikely that the charge is going to go ahead. You need some kind of bonuses. Blood Angels, Space Marines, there's some kind of bonuses going on with them. With Chaplain abilities, Blood Angels +1 to the charge roll ability. Is there anything to help Grey Knights with that? Because they are, I imagine they'd be quite effective deep striking and just landing all over the place and then charging in. It's a great way to play them. But it comes with a risk if you're just going to go for a 9-inch charge. So I'm looking for kind of reroll charges plus something to the charge roll, something like that. But that is powerful if you can use it well. Okay, so then Gifts of the Prescient. True Name Shard, just 10 points for this one, power level 1. Once per battle, at the start of the fight phase, you can select one enemy demon unit within 6 inches of the bearer. The unit is not eligible to fight this phase till all other eligible units from your army have done so. Yep, so if you're up against tough demons, then that's very strong and cheap, that one. so only be taking it if you're up against demon models. Temporal bombs, 15 points on 15 points on 1 power level. Before the battle, select one area terrain feature that is not within your opponent's deployment zone and note it down secretly on your roster. The first time an enemy unit starts or ends a move on or within that terrain feature, reveal your choice and roll 1d6. On 2+, the enemy unit suffers d3 mortal wounds. So, and just hang on a second. That's the most ridiculously overcosted. Yeah. No, it's dreadful. It's terrible. 15 points to cause D3 mortal wounds on a 2+. So you've got to get the 2+. It's likely it's going to go ahead. But then you've got a chance of causing a third of a chance of just causing a mortal wound for 15 points. Terrible. Really bad, that one. Servant of the Throne, 20 points for this one. Once for battle, when the bearer is selected as the target of an attack, if you use this gift, it does. Then until the end of the turn, the bearer has a 3+ invuln save, so not too bad, but yeah, costly. 20 points. Deluminator of Majesty. They may well change these around. They must. Deluminator of Majesty, power level 1, 15 points. When you give this model this gift, select one bolt weapon. That model is equipped with, once for battle, when the bearer shoots with that weapon, you can choose for it to fire a Deluminator of Majesty bolt. If you do, you can only make one attack with this weapon, but if it scores a hit against a demon unit until the start of the next shooting phase, that unit loses any aura abilities it has in addition to any normal damage. So, I don't know how many aura abilities demons would have. There's a few, but not too many. Next is Gem of Inoctu. 15 points to this one, 1 power level. Once for battle, when the bearer is selected to manifest psychic powers, you can use this gift. If you do, then until the end of the phase, each time the bearer attempts to manifest a psychic power from the Dominus discipline, add 2 to the Psyker's test. Only once per battle though. So, okay. And this one, the Severance Bolt, 2 power level and 30 points. When you give this model a gift, or this gift, select one bolt weapon the model is equipped with. Before the battle, select one enemy character unit. Once per battle, when the bearer shoots with that weapon, you can choose for it to fire a Severance Bolt. This better be good here for 30 points. It's one use only. If you do, you can only make one attack with this weapon, but when selecting a target, you can ignore lookout Sir roll, so long as you select that character unit as the target. When making an attack with a Severance Bolt against that character unit, if it successfully hits, the target suffers D3 mortal wounds and the attack sequence ends. Oh, come on. Honestly. Terrible. If the target is a Psyker, roll 3d6. If the result exceeds the target's leadership characteristic, randomly select one psychic power that it knows. That Psyker cannot use that psychic power for the rest of the battle. 30 points to cause D3 mortal wounds. Yeah, maybe it's just me. I think that section's it's bad. Overcosted. Should have at least been D6 mortal wounds, but D3, 30 points to cause a mortal wound. Unbelievable. We'll move on to Stratagems. So, sorry about that, but not that impressed with that section. Wisdom of the Prognosticators. Yeah, okay. We'll move on. We'll see if... So mixed results here going on. Brotherhoods are fine, no problem at all. The gifts and so on, not that great. We're looking for some strong stratagems now. I'm looking for help with charges, hitting hard in close combat, enhancing psychic powers, and perhaps durability as well to try and protect a very elite army. So hopefully it's 4 pages. Yes. Okay. So psychic channeling then, 1 CP for this one. Use your stratagem in your psychic phase and a Grey Knight psychic unit from your army selected to manifest psychic powers. At the end of that phase, each time a psychic test is taken for that unit, roll an additional d6 and discard one of the dice. Taken, okay. So that's alright, yeah, it'll help out manifested psychic powers, fine. Yeah, I'm sure that'll be used a fair bit by Grey Knight players. Especially got some kind of model that's got 2, maybe 3, if that's possible, for Grey Knight psychic powers to manifest and play that early on, and try and make those powers more reliable. Psychic Onslaught, next 1 CP, uses stratagem in your shooting phase, and a Grey Knight Psych unit from your army is selected to shoot. At the end of that phase, each time model unit makes a ranged attack with psi weapons, add 1 to the strength characteristic of the attack, and improve the AP by 1. That's not too bad at all, so that's okay. Next is the Steel Heart, 1 CP. Uses stratagem in your fight phase, and a Grey Knight's Terminator unit from your army selected to fight. Till the end of the phase, each time model unit makes a melee attack, it's +1 to the hit roll, and that's fine, absolutely fine. Death from the Warp, 1 CP, uses stratagem in your shooting phase, and a Grey Knight Psyche unit from your army shoots. At the end of that phase, each time model unit makes a ranged attack, if that unit was set up on the battlefield using Teleport Strike, it's +1 to the hit roll, and I get another one. Fantastic. +1 to the hit roll, it's nice and straightforward, very strong and cheap. So, excellent. Good, we're off to a flying start here for first stratagem. I'm looking for +1 damage with something. Powerful Adept, 1 CP, uses stratagem in your psychic phase, and a Grey Knight Psychic unit from your army is selected to manifest psychic powers. At the end of that phase, each time a psychic power is manifested by that unit, increase the range of that psychic power by 6. So yeah, maybe useful enough. Sanctified Killzone, 2 CP, uses stratagem in your shooting phase when a Purifying Squad from your army is selected to shoot. Until the end of the phase, each time ranged attack is made by model in that unit targets an enemy unit within half range, add 1 to the attack's wound roll, and that's not bad, that'll help out. +1 to the wound rolls, that's okay. And then Final Justice now, 2 CP, uses stratagem in the fight phase, and the Grey Knight's character model excluding Castellan Crow from your army that has not already been selected to fight this phase is destroyed. Do not remove that model from play. It could fight after the attacking model's unit has finished making attacks. After resolving the destroyed model's attacks, then it's removed. So fine, great, do not remove the model from play. Yeah, great, brilliant, you get to fight. Nice and straightforward, strong, and very useful, that one. May well be worth the CP. And it's not fighting with a weapon or 1 attack, it's just you get to make your attacks. Yeah, great. Very, very helpful indeed. Very, very good. Shadow of Undying Legends, 1 CP, uses stratagem in your command phase, select 1 Grey Knight's Dreadnought model from your army. To the start of your command phase, that model gains either the Rights of Battle ability or the Tactical Precision ability as shown below. The Rights of Battle Aura, while a friendly Grey Knight's core unit is within 6 inches of this model, each time model in that unit makes an attack, you can reroll hit rolls of 1. Yeah, well, this is just your while a friendly Grey Knight's core unit within 6 inches, you get to reroll wound rolls of 1. So this is your Wisdom of the Ancients, I think, similar to, so Grey Knight Dreadnoughts get the same kind of ability. Yeah, it's either or of those. That's fine, same as the Space Marines, so it's good. I do like the look of Grey Knight Dreadnoughts. Now let me think now. The one I always had my eye on years ago was the, I think it's Forge World gave you the extra bits for it. I was taking the Dreadnought with the quadruple autocannons on it, 2 autocannons on each arm. I think you could run that. Or just, and I've seen them painted up for Grey Knights, they look incredible. It's a bit of DACA support at the back of the lines. You've got deep striking units and Dreadnoughts moving around the board, and then you've got a couple of objective holding fire support Dreadnoughts firing through. That would be pretty cool. So next, Purity of the Machine Spirit, 2 CP. Uses stratagem in your command phase, select 1 Grey Knight's Machine Spirit model from your army, something like a Land Raider, I think, or a Storm Raven gunship, I think, counts with as well. Until the start of your next command phase, that model is considered to have its 4 wounds remaining for the purpose of determining what characteristics to use. So yeah, very, very useful indeed, especially if you've got a model that's heavily equipped with firepower. Excellent. Empiric Declamation, 2 CP. Uses stratagem at the start of any of your phases. Select 1 Brotherhood Chaplain unit from your army that has not recited the litany since the start of your last command phase. That model can recite 1 litany that has not already been recited by a friendly model since the start of your last command phase. That litany is automatically inspiring, do not roll, and takes effect on the start of your next command phase. Right, so I think this is the mirroring what the Space Marines get. This could be good news, where depending on what listeners the chaplains have available here, we'll come to it later on. But we're off to a good start. Now this stratagem enables you to, that model can recite one listing that's not already been recited by a friendly model since the start of your last command phase. That listing is automatically inspiring. So if there's a Deep Strike chaplain in, there's other units nearby, that's like with the Blood Angels, and then you play the listing, it gives you +2 to your charges. We'll see if that's the case later on, but at least the stratagem's in place to do that. I reckon I'd run Grey Knights that way. It's worked well for my Blood Angels. If it's possible for Grey Knights, we'll see. But part of it is in place here. Chirurgic Resurrection, 1 CP. Use the stratagem at the end of your movement phase. Select on Grey Knight's Apothecary unit from your army, and then select on Grey Knight Infantry unit that does not at its starting strength. You just return a model. So it's fine. Just mirroring again the Space Marines. Psychic Locust, 2 CP. Use the stratagem to start the Psychic phase. Select on Brother Captain model from your army. Until the end of the phase, that model gains the following ability: Psychic Locust, Aura. While friendly Brotherhood Psychic units within 6 inches, just add 1 to Psychic tests taken for that unit. That's not bad, but it's 2 CP for that one. Finest Hour, 1 CP. Use the stratagem at the start of any phase. Select on Grey Knight's character unit from your army. Until the end of the turn, add 3 inches to the range of that unit's aura abilities to a maximum of 12. Thunderous Stride, 1 CP. Use the stratagem in your command phase. When a Dragonite model from your army finishes a charge move, select one enemy unit of engagement range of that model. Roll 1d6. On 2 to 5, it's D3 mortal wounds. On 6, it's 3 mortal wounds. Yeah, could well be worth it. Yeah, not bad. So it could help out a bit. Armory of Titan, 1 CP. Use a stratagem before the battle. When you're mustering your army, if your Warlord has the Grey Knight's keyword, select on Grey Knight's character model from your army and give them a Relic of Titan. So it's relics. Extra Warlord traits here, for example, of the Silvered Host and Shield of Humanity. Using the stratagem, you mustering your armies. If your Warlord has the Grey Knight's keyword, select on Grey Knight's character from your army and determine 1 Warlord trait for that model. This must be a Warlord trait they could have. That model is only regarded as your Warlord for the purposes of the Warlord trait. Yep. Now this one is use a stratagem after nominating Grey Knight's character model that is not a named character to be your Warlord. Generate an additional Warlord trait. Right, so we've got Relic, Warlord trait, extra Warlord trait there, as similar to the Blood Angels and Space Marines. Endowment in Extremis, 1 CP. Use a stratagem before the battle. Select one Grey Knight's model from your army that has one of the following in their profile: Justicar, Paragon, Knight of the Flame. That model can have one of the following relics of Titan. It gives you the ones that they can take. Yeah, it's just like equipping sergeants with some of the relics for Space Marines, I think. Okay. Mental Focus. 1 CP. Use the stratagem in the Psychic phase. Select one Grey Knight's Psychic unit from your army. At the end of that phase, this unit can attempt to manifest additional power. Fine, great. Fight on the move, 1 CP. Use the stratagem in your movement phase, and a Grey Knight's Teleporter unit from your army falls back. Till the end of the turn, the unit is eligible to shoot and charge, even though it fell back. Fantastic. Golden Nugget, brilliant. 1 CP. So good. Brilliant job. Yeah. Absolute. Golden Nugget, that one. Hallowed in the Soulfire. 1 CP. Use a stratagem in your movement phase, and a Grey Knight's core unit from your army set up on the battlefield using Teleport Strike ability. To the start of your next turn, each time an attack is made against that unit, subtract 1 from the hit rolls. -1 to hit them, it's like smoke. Untainted and Unbowed. Use a stratagem in any phase when a Purifier Squad unit, which costs 2 CP, from your army is selected as the target of an attack. To the end of that phase, each time an attack is allocated to a model in that unit, subtract 1 from the damage characteristic of that attack to a minimum of 1. So yeah, it could help out. Skylance Bombardment, 3 CP. Use this stratagem in your command phase. If a Grey Knight's Warlord from your army is on the battlefield, select 1 point on the battlefield and place a marker on that point. At the start of your next command phase, roll 1d6 for each unit within 6 inches of the centre of the marker, adding 1 if the unit being rolled for is within 3 inches of the centre of the battlefield, and subtracting 1 if the unit being rolled for is a character. 2 to 5, that unit is D3 mortal wounds, or 6 or more, it's D6 mortal wounds. The marker is then removed. You can use this stratagem once. And then the need to know, 1 CP. Use this. You can only use this stratagem if your army only contains Grey Knights detachments. Use this stratagem if you're playing a mission that requires you to select either secondary objectives or agendas. After both players have revealed their selections, you can select one of your secondary objectives or agendas and replace it with a different one. Make a note on your army roster as to your new selection and inform your opponent. All the normal rules for selecting secondary objectives and agendas apply. If both players have a rule, blah 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 blah. Okay, so that's alright. It's there if you need it. Alloy of Disciplines. 1 CP. Use your stratagem in your command phase. Select one paladin unit from your army. Select one psychic power from the Sanctic Discipline. That unit does not know to replace one of the psychic powers that it does. There's that phrase again. It must be me. It's like me not understanding what it's saying. From the Sanctic Discipline. That unit does not know to replace one of the psychic powers that it does. Okay. Martial Prescience. 1 CP. Use your stratagem in the fight phase when a Grey Knight's unit that is set to defend is selected as the target of an attack made by an enemy model. At the end of that phase, each time an unmodified save roll of 6 is made for a model in that unit. After the attacking model's unit has finished making its attacks, the attacking model's unit suffers a mortal wound. Yeah, that's just an interesting one. Yeah, anything to help out to tip the balance in close combat, that's not bad. Next one is called Steely Advance. It's 2 CP. Use this stratagem in your movement phase when a Grey Knight's infantry unit from your army makes a normal move. At the end of the turn, that unit is considered to have remained stationary. So helpful enough, but costly. Hexagrammic Wards. 1 CP. Use your stratagem in your opponent's psychic phase before a deny the witch test is taken for a Grey Knight psychic unit from your army. When taking the test, roll an additional d6, discard the lowest result. Nice. Teleportation Shunt. 2 CP. Use this stratagem in your movement phase when a Grey Knight's teleporter unit from your army is selected to make a normal move. Instead of making a normal move for that unit, remove it from the battlefield and then set it back up on the battlefield. It's Deep Strike. You can only use the stratagem once per battle, but a good one. Nice one to have in your back pocket, ready to use. Mists of Demos. 1 CP. Use the stratagem in your opponent's shooting phase when a Grey Knight smoke screen unit from your army is selected as the target of an attack. So you pop smoke, -1 to the hit roll. True Silver Armour. Use some of the cool Space Marine stratagems, the main themed ones for them. They're reflected in here, which is nice. True Silver Armour. 2 CP or 3 CP. This is your transhuman, forcing the opponent to 1, 2s and 3s foul to wound, and you pay more if it's a larger unit. Cyborg Ammunition, a stratagem here. 1 CP or 2 CP. If it's 6 or more models, it's 2 CP, otherwise it's 1. So unit of 5 paladins only cost you 1. Use your stratagem in your shooting phase when a Grey Knight's unit from your army select shoot. To the end of each phase. To the end of the phase, each time model in that unit makes a ranged attack with a bolt weapon, unmodified hit roll of 6 is auto wound. Okay. And then improve the AP penetration characteristic of that attack by 1. Of what attack? Improve the AP characteristic of that attack by 1. That attack as in the whole attack, or just the 6s that auto wound, is what I'm wondering. Not sure on the wording of that one. If it's AP -1 across the board, that's fantastic. It may be AP -1 only on those 6s that auto wound. No, I think it's across the board. At the end of the phase, each time model in that unit makes a ranged attack with a bolt weapon, improve the armor penetration of that attack by 1. I think that's the way it works. Yeah, in which case, it's good. I imagine it's going to be used a fair bit. Zone of Warding. AP -1 is fantastic. It just nips the edge off an armor save, and that's usually enough just to cause trouble for the opponent. You know, taking power armor down to a 4+, taking 2 up save to 3+, it could just be enough to just let the damage come through. So that's all good. Zone of Warding, 1 CP or 2 CP. If it's 5 or fewer models, then it's 1 CP. If it's more, then it's 2. Use your stratagem in any phase, and a Grey Knight's unit from your army is selected as the target of a ranged attack at the end of the phase, while the unit contains a model equipped with a Nemesis warding stave. Models in that unit have a 5+ invuln save. Terminator models have a 4+ invuln save. So yeah, it could help out. Not bad at all. And then Psych Out Grenade, 1 CP. Use this stratagem in your shooting phase, and a Grey Knight's Psych Out Grenade unit is selected to shoot. If that unit is not within engagement range of enemy units, roll 1d6. On a 2+, the closest enemy Psych unit within 6 inches and visible suffers a Perils of the Warp. And then Frag Assault Launchers, 1 CP. Use a stratagem at the start of your charge phase. Select on Grey Knight's Assault Launchers unit from your army and 1 enemy unit, excluding vehicles or monsters, within 9 inches of that unit. That enemy unit can either brace or duck for cover. If it braces, it's D3 mortal wounds. If that unit ducks for cover until the end of the turn, subtract 1 of the attacks characteristic of models in that unit, and no Overwatch or set to defend allowed. So yeah, some of the decent Space Marine stratagems coming through, and there's some nice, cheap, helpful, very, very helpful stratagems there. So I would say that's all pretty good, stratagems wise. There's some great ones there for Grey Knight players, so pretty good. So what we're looking for, we come to the models later on of the units to see how much they've improved, and the kind of kick that the weapons have now, shooting and close combat. We'll find out a bit later on. So on to relics now. So you're looking for really good combinations that you can go for and to dish out some decent relics to give your army a bit more ability and punch if possible. So Soulglaive first of all, it's Nemesis Force Halberd only, so you replace it and you get +2 strength, 8 -3, 2 damage. Each time an attack is made with this weapon you can reroll the hit roll and you can reroll wounds as well. Well, that's not bad at all, is it? That is a very, very good weapon. Just want to give it to a model with tons of attacks. Reroll hits and wounds. Very cool. Really reliable. Really, really good. Okay. Destroyer of Chrysalics. Nemesis Demon Hammer. You replace it. It gives you ×2 strength, 8 -3, and 4 damage. Each time an attack is made with this weapon, it is -1 from the hit roll though. 4 damage. Nice one against Death Guard. Yeah, good so far. Fury of Demos next. So, and it's a Storm Bolter, a Mastercrafted Storm Bolter. You replace it and you get range 24, rapid fire 3. It'd be good to put it on a Terminator model character, possible. Strength 5 -2, 2 damage. Banner of Refining Flame, ancient model only. It gets a psychic action, warp charge value of 6. In your psychic phase, the bearer can attempt to perform this psychic action. If completed, the enemy unit within 6 inches of the bearer suffers D3 mortal wounds. Ugh, no, not that great at all. And then Domina, Liber, Demonica. Each or enemy demon units that are set up on the battlefield as reinforcements cannot be set up within 12 inches of the bearer. The bearer has the following ability: Domina, Liber, Demonica, Aura. While if enemy demon unit is within 6 inches of this model, each time a combat attrition test is taken for that unit, it's -1 to the test. But that's really good. The prevention of deep striking nearby. That's very, very good indeed. The Cuirass of Sacrifice infantry model gets +1 armor save throws for the bearer, and each time the bearer would lose a wound, it's 5+ feel no pain. It's not too bad at all. Sanctic Shard. Each time a Deny the Witch test is taken for the bearer, if the result of the test was an unmodified roll of 8 or more, or it was greater than the result of the psychic test, the Deny the Witch test is passed. The Gyrotemporal Vault. The bearer can attempt to perform the following psychic action. So it's a warp charge value of 5. In your psychic phase, the bearer can attempt to employ their allies. If this action empower their allies. If this action is completely successful, select on friendly Grey Knight's core or Grey Knight's character unit within 6 inches or 3 inches of the bearer to the start of the next psychic phase. At the start of the fight phase, if the selected unit is within engagement range of enemy units, it can fight first. So ability to fight first. It's very important, I think, for Grey Knights. to get those hits in first before your elite units hack down. So very helpful indeed. Blade of the Forsworn. Models equipped with a Nemesis Force Sword only. It replaces that, gives you +1 strength, AP -3 and 3 damage. Each time an attack is made with this weapon against a demon unit, an unmodified hit wound roll of 2+ successfully wounds the target. If the unit has the monster or vehicle keyword, a modified wound roll of 4+ successfully wounds the target instead. And then Sigil of Silence, Sigil of Exigence. Next. Once per battle, in your opponent's shooting phase, when the bearer is selected as the target of a ranged attack, it can activate this relic. If it does, remove the bearer from the battlefield and then set it back up on the battlefield anywhere that is more than 9 inches away from any enemy models. If the bearer is no longer an eligible target, your opponent can then select new eligible targets for any attacks that had targeted the bearer. Well, it could be helpful getting out of trouble. So we're on here. Augurium Scrolls. Model with a Nemesis weapon only. Each time the bearer is selected to fight, you can reroll 1 hit roll and 1 wound roll, resolving the bearer's attacks. So it's okay, it's not too bad. Stave of Supremacy. Model with a Nemesis warding stave only. The bearer has the following ability: Stave of Supremacy, an aura, while an enemy unit is within 18 of the model. Each time a psychic test is taken with that unit, it suffers perils of the warp on any roll of a double. You need to remember that though, to remind your opponent when that happens. Cantu Vambrance or Vambrace. Infantry model. Each time the bearer would lose a wound as a result of a mortal wound, it's a 4+ feel no pain. And each time the attack is allocated to the bearer, subtract 1 from the damage characteristic of that attack. And that's any attack. So that's not too bad at all. Artisan Nullifier Matrix. Librarian model only. Bearer gains the following ability: Artisan Nullifier Matrix, aura, or a friendly Grey Knight Psycho is within 9 inches of this model. Each time a psychic test is taken for the unit, it doesn't suffer perils of the warp. And then Etheric Conduit Tech Marine model. Each time the bearer repairs a model, it's 3 wounds restored instead of D3. So that's useful. Okay, so you've got 2 disciplines, Dominus and Sanctic disciplines here. And we're looking for potency with these to help your own army, and also to inflict damage on the opponent if possible. Thousand Suns seem to do quite well in their codex. On their review, I rate the psychic powers quite highly. They're pretty good, quite potent. We'll see if that's the case here. So go for Dominus first of all. So let's just get a little idea of what's going on. So, well, Terminators, they're restricted to Hammer Hand from the Sanctic discipline, for example. Let's just have a little look at Brother Captain, Dominus discipline, 1 power from there. The Librarian can draw from Dominus and Sanctic disciplines. Dominus discipline for the Brotherhood champions, it's quite mixed who can do what. So Dominus discipline first of all. Gate of Infinity. Blessing, warp charge value of 7. If manifested, select 1 friendly Grey Knight Psych unit within 18 inches of this Psycho, remove that unit from the battlefield and deep strike them in. Okay, so that's one that I would take, because that's going to give you tactical flexibility during the game, and there's no real cost to it. It's a built-in, or a power that's been selected to use in the psychic phase. You're not having to pay out for it with stratagems or extra points as you put your army together. It's just a psychic power. It is warp charge value of 7 though, so it'd be infuriating if the power doesn't go off. So that might be one you want to put on a key character that can get some kind of bonuses going on to stand a greater chance of that power going ahead. Empiric Amplification, warp charge value of 7. If manifested, select 1 enemy unit within 12 inches visible to the Psyker. To the start of your next psychic phase, each time an attack is made with a Nemesis or Psi weapon, it's allocated to model net units. Add 1 to the damage characteristic of that attack. That's very good as well. If you've got a lot of that kind of war gear in your army, +1 damage is excellent. Sanctuary next. So warp charge value of 6. If manifested, select 1 friendly Grey Knights unit within 18 inches of the Psyker. To the start of your next psychic phase, models in that unit have a 4+ invuln save. That's good. These are all good powers here. Vortex of Doom. It's a warp charge value of 7. If manifested, select the closest enemy unit within 12 inches and visible to the Psyker. Each other enemy unit within 3 inches of the selected unit suffers a mortal wound, and then the selected unit suffers 2d3 mortal wounds. If the model manifesting this power has a psychic epitome Warlord trait, only the unit you selected suffers the additional mortal wound from the trait, not those enemy units within 3 inches of it. Fine. It's closest enemy unit, but that's a fair old bit of damage coming through there. Vortex of Doom, nice. These are all quite good. Warp shaping is a warp charge value of 4. If manifested, select one tide of the warp, which will come to later on, that has not been dominant for your army during this battle. Your army's currently dominant tide of the warp is changed to the selected tide instead. Ghostly bonds. Warp charge value of 5. If manifested, select one enemy unit within 18 inches and visible to the psychic until the start of your next psychic phase. Halve that unit's move characteristic. Okay, so pretty good. Sanctic Discipline, Psychic Confluence here. So each time a Grey Knight's Psyker is selected to manifest any of the psychic powers that it knows from the Sanctic Discipline, even if that power has already been attempted to be manifested by another unit that phase, each time such a unit attempts to manifest such a power, until the end of the phase, add 1 to the power's warp charge value for each other attempt that has been made to manifest it by a unit from your army that phase, with the attempt was successful or not. So multiple units can try and play Hammerhand, for example. It's just similar to Smites, it's +1 each time for it to go ahead. But that's a fair enough move there here with Sanctic Discipline. So Astral Aim is a blessing, a value of 6. Each time this Psyker's unit is selected to shoot, you can reroll 1 hit roll when resolving that unit's attacks, and each time model unit makes a ranged attack, the target does not receive the benefits of cover. So okay, it's not bad. Purge Soul as a value of 6. If manifested, select one enemy unit within 12 inches visible to the Psyker that has not already been selected for this power this phase, so you can't stack it up multiple times against the same target. Then roll 1d6 and add the Psyker's leadership characteristic to the result. Your opponent then rolls 1d6 and add that unit's leadership characteristic to the result. If your total is higher than your opponent, it suffers d3 mortal wounds. If your total is equal to, it's a mortal wound. If it's less, then nothing happens. Hammerhand. So warp charge value of 5. If manifested until the start of the next psychic phase, each time model that unit's Psyker's unit makes a melee attack, you can reroll the wound roll. So rerolling wounds, excellent. Purifying Flame as a warp charge value of 5. If manifested, the closest enemy unit within 9 and visible to the Psyker's unit suffers 3 mortal wounds. If the result of the psychic test was 11 or more, it's d3 plus 3 mortal wounds. Yeah, you're expected to get in close, and great. It's excellent. It can go alongside Smite quite nicely. Armoured Resilience, warp charge value of 6. If manifested until the start of the next psychic phase, add 1 to the arm saving throws made for models in that Psyker's unit. And then Ethereal Castigation is a warp charge value of 6. If manifested, this Psyker's unit can shoot as if it were your shooting phase, and then it can make a normal move as if it were your movement phase. After making this move and or resolving these shooting attacks to the end of the turn, this Psyker's unit cannot make a normal move, advance, charge or shoot. Okay. Right, so we're on to Litanies now. Let's see what abilities are available. Okay, so Litanies of Purity then. So, similar to the usual, all Grey Knights priests know Litany of Expulsion, the Aura ability, which is your 6-inch reroll hit rolls, same as Space Marines. And that counts for core units and characters. And I guess it includes the character himself, being a character. So then the other options are, and I wonder if this is a duplicate of the Space Marines. You will see. Words of Power, number 1. If this listing is inspiring, select one friendly Grey Knight's core or Grey Knight's character unit within 6 inches of this priest. Each time a model that unit makes a melee attack with a Nemesis weapon, a modified wound roll of 6 successfully wounds the target 1 additional time, and if the tide of convergence is dominant for your army, the target also suffers a mortal wound. So not bad at all. Intonement for guidance. If this listing is inspiring, select one friendly Grey Knight's core or character unit within 6 inches of the priest. Each time model that unit makes a ranged attack, you can ignore any or all hit roll and ballistic skill modifiers. So yes, okay. And then Psalm of Purity, Aura ability. If it's inspiring while a friendly Grey Knight's core or character unit is within 6 inches of the priest, each time model that unit makes a ranged attack, an unmodified wound roll of 6, improve the AP by 1. Ugh, not that great, really. Okay, moving on. Refrain of Convergence. Starting to wish it was just a straight swap with the Space Prince here. If this listing is inspiring, select one unit within 6 inches of the priest. That unit and the models it contains stopped being affected by any psychic powers that had been affecting it. That had been manifested by an enemy unit. To the start of the next command phase, that unit and the models it contains are not affected by any psychic powers manifested by enemy units. So yeah, a bit of an odd one, that one. Okay, well, 2 left to go. Words of Power seems the best. Right, Recitation of Projection. If this listing is inspiring, select one friendly Grey Knight's core or Grey Knight's character unit within 6 inches of the priest. Until the start of the next command phase, add 6 inches to the range of the characteristic of bolt and psi weapons. Models in that unit are equipped with. If the tide of convergence is dominant in your army, then add 6 inches to the range of bolt weapons, but only add 3 to the range of psi weapons that models in this unit are equipped with. Note that with the similar bonus conferred by the tide of convergence, this means that the total range increase of psi weapons would be 9 inches. And then Invocation of Focus Aura. If this listing is inspiring, while a friendly Grey Knight's core or Grey Knight's character unit is within 6 inches of this priest, each time this unit attempts to manifest a blessing psychic power, it's add 1 to the psychic test. Oh no, it's not that great. Ugh. No. Oh man. Okay. I'm not that impressed, but I'm sure there's combinations that you could use there with that. How interesting. Okay, so we're going to Warlord Traits next. Drago, it takes Demon Slayer. Voldus takes Lawmaster. Brother Captain Stern takes Unyielding Anvil, and Castellan Crow takes Hammer of Righteousness. Let's see how good these are. So we've got Demon Slayer. Each time this Warlord fights, if it made a charge move this turn, until the fight is resolved, add 1 to the attack's characteristic. Each time the Warlord makes a melee attack against a demon unit, invuln saves cannot be taken against that attack. Now that's really good. Demon Slayer is pretty good. Very specific, but very powerful, I think. Very good indeed. Hammer of Righteousness. Each time this Warlord makes a melee attack, if it made a charge move, was charged or performed heroic intervention, it's +1 to the wound roll. Excellent. Unyielding Anvil. On a friendly Grey Knight's core or character unit within 6 inches of this Warlord, that unit has the objective Secured ability. If a model in such a unit already has this ability, then it's an extra model counting towards the number of models that control it. First to the fray. Add 1 to the advance and charge rolls made for this Warlord. If this Warlord has made a charge move this turn, until the end of the turn, each time a friendly Grey Knight's core unit declares charge against an enemy unit that is within engagement range of this Warlord, add 1 to the charge roll made for that unit. Okay, and then Nemesis Lord. Each time this Warlord makes a melee attack with a Nemesis weapon, unmodified hit roll of 6 is an auto wound. And then Psychic Epitome. At the start of each of your psychic phases, select one friendly Grey Knight psychic unit within 6 inches of the Warlord. To the end of the phase, each time the unit manifests a Witchfire psychic power and resolving that psychic power, if an enemy unit suffers any mortal wounds, that enemy unit suffers 1 additional mortal wound. Ugh, okay. So not bad on the Warlord traits. Right, so now comes quite an important part here. The choice of secondaries, ones that are themed and specific for Grey Knights. We'll see if any of these are any good. You're looking for at least one to be really potent here, and I'm thinking about infantry units, deep striking in, manoeuvring around the table, plenty of Dakka, but not relying mostly on close combat and ambush and striking first against the foe. So we'll see if we can find a useful secondary here to help the Grey Knights out. So from Purge the enemy, then destroy the demon. If you select this objective, you score victory points for each unit. Let's just have a little look here, just to give us an idea. So to Purge the enemy, you'd be swapping out Assassination, which is pretty good, Titan Hunter, it's quite specific, and then Bring It Down, which is destroying vehicles and monsters. Okay, well, maybe. So you've got Destroy the Demon instead. So I guess you've got to be against demons there. If you select this objective, you score victory points for each unit that was destroyed in battle by a Grey Knight's unit from your army. A Demon Primarch unit, such as Magnus the Red, I'm guessing, and Mortarion, for example, you get 5 points for destroying them in any way. Any other Demon Monster unit, 3 victory points. Demon Vehicle unit, 3 points for that as well, and any other demon unit, you get a point for that as well. So that's not bad at all. That's pretty good. It's a big reward. If you are going to go after demons, there's a big reward there. You can pick up points just for destroying the opponent. You're going to pick up points, and you're going to be doing that anyway, so that one's good. No Mercy, No Respite then. Teleport Assault. No Mercy, No Respite is no prisoners. That's a tally of kill points. Grind them down, trying to destroy more enemy units if possible, and then to the last, keeping 3 of your most expensive units alive through to the end of the game. Might be quite tricky for Grey Knights, so elite, perhaps a little bit vulnerable to get him picked off. So instead you can go for Teleport Assault. Score 3 victory points at the end of the battle round if 1 or more enemy units was destroyed by a Grey Knight's model from your army that was set up on the battlefield using Teleport Strike ability, the Teleportation Shunt stratagem, or the Gate of Infinity psychic power. That battle round, so quite tricky to pull that off every turn, which is really what you'd need to do to max out. Yeah, tricky one, that one. Oh, it's hard. Per battle round, yes, I'd say it's almost impossible to get that to max out on it, so it's not so good. Much prefer this one, Destroy the Demon. Right, next, Purifying Ritual. So we're on Warpcraft here. I don't really use that section very much. Abhor the Witch. Purifying Ritual. Okay, you've got Warp Ritual here, Pierce the Veil, and Psychic Interrogation. So there's 4 there to choose from. Or you've got this one. So score a number of victory points at the end of the battle round as shown on the table below, with the number of victory points scored depending on how many units from your army successfully completed the following psychic action that battle round. So, Purifying Ritual, psychic action, warp charge value of 5. In your psychic phase, this action can be performed by any number of units in your army. In your psychic phase, if a Grey Knight's psychic unit from your army is within 3 inches of an objective marker, it can attempt to purify it by performing the following action. Each objective marker cannot be purified more than once in the same turn. So, you've got to position yourself onto multiple objectives and then perform these actions. I'm thinking elite army could be tricky because your units need to be doing other stuff, but if you purify an objective in a turn, you get a point. If you purify 2, you get 2. 3, you get 4, and if you could do 4 objectives, maybe if you could focus on a couple of turns and really hammer out these purifications, then you get 6 points. But I'm sure you're going to be busy doing other stuff. You can't be busy cleaning things whilst the enemy's swarming all around you. So that one could be quite tricky to pull that one off. You need a pretty strong plan. God, boy, it's tough. So I think the strongest one, Destroy the Demon. You're going to be busy destroying the opponent anyway, and then you get the points just for doing what you're going to do anyway. This one you have to divert attention away to pick up the points. But this one here, Destroy the Demon, you can pursue that as much as you want because that's what you're going to be doing anyway, and you're getting rewarded for it. Then you've got Name Generator coming up here, and we're moving on to Crusade. I'll not cover Crusade here, but moving through. And then we will armies, data sheets. So yeah, okay. So we'll take a look here. We've got tides to take a look at. And then we have some other stuff here as well, some extra abilities to cover also. So the majority of datasheets in this section have the Brotherhood Keyword. This is a keyword that you can select for yourself, as described in the 40k core book. With a few notable exceptions, all Grey Knights units are drawn from a Brotherhood. When you include such unit in your army, you must nominate which Brotherhood it's from, and then replace the Brotherhood keyword in every instance on the datasheet with the chosen Brotherhood name. The different Brotherhood keywords you can select from it lists them. You can find out more about Brotherhoods on the previous pages. If your army is battle forged, you cannot include units from two different Brotherhoods in the same detachment. Right, so it's the same like usual structure for Space Marine chapters and so on. Your war gear and weapon lists. Abilities, right. Unit's datasheet will list all the abilities it has. Certain abilities that are common to many units are only referenced in the datasheets rather than described in full. These abilities are described below. So we've seen the army-wide type stuff, but now certain units have certain abilities and you refer to them back here. So first of all, Knights of Titan. The unit has the following abilities which are described below. Nation of No Fear, Bolt of Discipline, Masters of the Warp. So, Nation of No Fear. Ignore any modifiers for combat attrition, same as Space Marines, and you get Bolt of Discipline as well, same as the Space Marines. So sort of following the normal rules for rapid fire weapons, models in this unit shooting rapid fire bolt weapons make double the number of attacks if any of the following apply. So there it is for your Terminators, brilliant. Shooting is infantry and it remains stationary and within half range. That's fine. Okay, deployment abilities. Alright, that's just usual. Combat squads, splitting squads up. It'll tell you if a unit has combat squads, it'll let you cut them in half. And then teleport strike is your deep strike ability. Landing more than 9 inches away from enemy models from turn 2 onwards. And they also get Masters of the Warp. Yep. So we'll cover this bit next. If every unit from your army has the Grey Knight's keyword, excluding Agent of the Imperium and unaligned units, cycle units of this ability gain a bonus, depending on which tide of the warp is dominant for your army, as below, or as follows. At the start of the first battle round, choose which of the tides is currently dominant. The dominant tide can be subsequently changed using the warp shaping psychic power. So you pick your tide, you stick with it until you change it with the warp shaping psychic power ability. Okay, so this is probably quite an important choice, and it's probably like a default choice on turn 1. Tide of Convergence then. Add 6 inches to the range characteristic of psi weapons that model in this unit is equipped with. Each time model in this unit makes an attack with a Nemesis weapon, a modified wound roll of 6. The target suffers a mortal wound in addition to any normal damage, so it's not bad at all. Tide of, I was going to say celery. It's celerity. Each time the tide is dominant for your army, each time an advance roll is made for this unit, treat the dice roll of 1 or 2 as a 3. And each time a charge roll is made for this unit, each dice roll of a 1 or a 2 counts as a 3 instead. That's actually pretty good. Not bad at all, that one. Reliability for charges. And that will help your deep strike in a bit, if you're going to go for that. Tide of Shadows. Whilst this tide is dominant for your army, each time a ranged attack is made by an enemy model more than 12 inches away from this unit, targets this unit. Models in that unit are treated as receiving the benefits of light cover. If every model in the unit is already receiving light cover, it also receives dense cover as well. Help protect your army a bit with that one. And then Tide of Escalation. Whilst the tide is dominant for your army in your psychic phase, if your army includes any Brotherhood of Psychers detachments, each time this unit is selected to manifest psychic powers, it can attempt to manifest its Brotherhood psychic power, even if that power has already been attempted to be manifested another time this phase. Each time such unit attempts to manifest a power, and until the end of the phase, add 1 to the power's warp charge value for each other attempt that's been made to manifest it by a unit from your army that phase, whether the attempt was successful or not. Then Tide of Banishment. This unit gains the following ability. Banishment Aura. On an enemy, demon unit is within 6 inches of this unit, subtract 1 for leadership characteristic of models in that enemy unit. Yeah, okay, and then each time a model in this unit makes an attack against a demon unit, you can reroll a hit roll of 1 and a wound roll of 1. Yeah, okay, not bad. I like Tide of Celerity. I think I said it right. Celerity is pretty good. Nice, reliable advancing and charging. Good. Tide of Shadows, pretty useful. light cover, dense cover. Okay, so there's some pretty good ones there. Tide of Shadows. Each range within 12 inches away. More than 12 inches away from this unit targets this unit. Models this unit treats as light cover. Oh, you don't have to remain stationary. No, Tide of Shadows is quite a nice one to switch on. Just leave it running. And just protect your army. Bumping the power armor saves up to 2 up. If you're in cover, you're getting dense cover on top of that. Terminators, 2 up armor save with a +1 to the armor save as well. Nice. Tide of Shadows, just nice and straightforward, light cover over 12 inches, brilliant. Okay, so what I'm going to do with these, I'm not going to, because this video will be too long, if I go through all the details of all the units, so I'm going to sweep through these here and just pick out bits and cover some of the weapons which may have changed. So I'll pick out things here and sort of skim through many of these units, just to give you an overview here of what's going on. I might flick up some of the points values as well, just to give you an idea of a flavour of what's going on with the points also. Yeah, we'll do that. I'll not cover everything, but I'll do the best I can. So on to HQ choices then. Caldor Drago, he's a 7 wound model now, 6 attacks base. With him, his Stormbolter, Mastercrafted Stormbolt is Rapid Fire 2, Strength 4, -1, 2 damage. And the Titan Sword is +4 strength, AP -4, and 3 damage. So it's a really good weapon in close combat. Knights of Titan Teleport Strike. He gets the rights of battles, Grey Knight core units, reroll and hit rolls of 1. And then Supreme Grandmaster, in your command phase, select on friendly Grey Knight's core. It's reroll and hit rolls, so it's just a chapter master basically. You can manifest 2 psychic powers and deny 2. So it's not bad. Drago's okay. You're hoping he's around about 180 points. And he is 180 points. Okay, next is Voldus. 6 attacks base for him and 6 wounds. Nice. Probably 170 odd points for him. 150. Okay, so significantly cheaper. The Stormbot was the same. The Malleus Agrium is ×2 strength, AP -3, 3 damage, and no minus to the hit rolls. Brilliant. Voldus is fantastic. 4+ invuln save for him. I take it he's got a... Oh, there it is, sorry. Yeah, war gear, the Sanctum Sigillum, 3+ invuln save. Missed a little bit of information there. 3+ invuln save for his shield. Nice, it's better than a storm shield. 3+ invuln save, nice. Drago, pretty good. Really good, okay. He gets to manifest 2 psychic powers and deny 2 here for Voldus. Reroll hit rolls of 1 for rights of battle. But it's Wardmaker's keyword. Yeah, it is. Okay. Yeah, it's Wardmaker's. It's specific for them. Oh. 4+ invuln save for him as well. Then you've got Grandmaster. So you can choose your Brotherhood. You can customise and build your own. I'm sure it's going to be popular enough. 6 wounds and 6 attacks base again for your standard Grandmaster. Brilliant number of attacks. The Nemesis Force Halberd you can take +2 strength, AP -2, 2 damage. I'm sure there's going to be relics or warlord traits to boost those things. 4+ invuln save, reroll hit rolls of 1, manifest 1 psychic power and deny 1. The Grandmaster. 135 points for him. We'll come to some of the war gear a bit later on. We'll keep rolling on here. Grandmaster and the Nemesis Dragonite. 150 points plus your war gear on top. On his top bracket, it's his movement and ballistic skill and attacks that get affected. Starting off on a 9-inch move, then drops to 7 and 5. Ballistic skill 2, 3 and 4 as the damage comes through. Attacks at 6, 5 and then 4. So kicking out 6 attacks of these HQs, pretty good. 13 wounds, toughness 6. Weapon skill remains the same throughout, 2+, 2 up save. So we've got Gatling Silencer here. Range 24, heavy 12, strength 5 -1 and 1 damage. The Heavy Incinerator is range 12, heavy 2d6, strength 6, -1/1 damage. It also hits on the target. The Heavy Psy Cannon is range 24, heavy 6, strength 8, -2 and 2 damage. The Dread Fist is ×2 strength, so strength 12, -3 and just 2 damage with that one. The Nemesis Demon Great Hammer is ×2 strength, AP -4, D3 +3 damage. Is -1 to the hit roll though. The Nemesis Great Sword is a Mighty Strike, +4 strength, -3 and D6 damage, or a Sweeping Blow, strength of the user -2 and 2 damage, and you get 2 hit rolls each time, so like 12 attacks of that. So the sword's quite tasty. The Dragonite Teleporter, you get the Teleporter keyword, so you can deep strike in, I believe. And then you've got a 4+ invuln save, and you've got the Rites of Battle there as well. And it can manifest 1 Psychic Power and deny 1. Then Castellan Crow, the resculpt, the brand new model. Here, they've done it again. 6 attacks, base for him, 5 wounds. Weapon skill, ballistic skill 2+, all the rest is quite obvious really. It's a 6-inch move. Normal Stormbolter. The Black Blade of Antwer is +1 strength, 8 -3 and 3 damage. Each time an attack is made with this weapon, unmodified wound roll of 6 inflicts D3 mortal wounds on the target in addition to normal damage. So you're going to get your hits on 2s, and then you're looking for 6s, you probably get 1 or 2. So a chance to cause some mortal wounds. Yeah, interesting. That's pretty good. That's a nice sting in the tail from him. He's also got Teleport Strike, Knights of Titan, Heroic Sacrifice. If this model is destroyed in the fight phase, do not remove it from play. It can fight after the attacking model's unit has finished making its attacks. So that's nice. Iron Halo, 4+ invuln save. Cleansing Flame. Each time this unit attempts to manifest the Purifying Flame psychic power, add 1 to the attempt. And then Martial Superiority. At the start of the fight phase, if this model is within engagement range of any character units, it can fight first. That's pretty good. And then we've got Honor or Death here. This model is eligible to perform Heroic Intervention if it's within 6 inches and 5 inches vertically of an enemy unit, instead of 3 inches and 5. Each time this model makes a Heroic Intervention move, so long as it ends that move either closer or to the closest enemy unit or within engagement range of an enemy character unit, it can move up to 6 inches. All the other rules for Heroic Intervention still apply, and it can manifest 1 and deny 1. So, 135? Just guessing here. 90 points? Okay. Cheap. And the ability to cause a bit of an upset, a bit of a surprise, if he gets those 6s to wound with all of those attacks, and he's going to start kicking out mortal wounds as well. So that's not so bad. 90 points. That's really good. Beautiful model. Fantastic model. Cheap in points. And the rules are pretty good. It's as if they want you to buy the model. Brother Captain Stern. Here. 120 points for him. 6 wounds, 6 attacks. It's 6, isn't it? It's the 666th chapter. So they're running the 6 theme throughout here. They can't keep this up forever. Brother Captain Stern, 6 attacks. Usual stat line, 6 wounds. Nemesis 4 swords, +1 strength, 8 -3 and 2 damage. Strands of Fate he gets. In your turn, you can reroll 1 hit roll, wound roll, save and throw for this model. If you do, in your next turn, your opponent can reroll. Your opponent gets the ability. 4+ invuln save. Tactical Precision. While a friendly ward maker's core unit is within 6 inches of this model, each time model in that unit makes attack, it's reroll, wound roll 1. And then Zone of Banishment. Each time this model successfully manifests a psychic power, each demon unit within 6 inches suffers a mortal wound, and you can manifest 1 psychic power and deny 1. Then you've got a Brother Captain. 6 wounds for him, 5 attacks base now. He's like your lieutenant. He gives you your tactical precision, rerolling your wound rolls of 1, and he can manifest and deny 1 psychic power. Brother Captain, 110 points for him. God, Castellan Crow, what a bargain. Grab him before he's FAQ'd, and then Brotherhood Champion. I'd love to like customise one of the plastic models. Perhaps draw in some bits from non-Grey Knight kits just to try and make him look as different as possible. Really come up with something quite unique for the Brotherhood champion. It's normal Marine though. It's normal. I'd love a Brotherhood Terminator champion would be very cool. It's just a regular Marine. 4 wounds. 5 attacks base though. Gets to fight first against characters and he gets Honour or Death. Same as Castellan Crow. And he will set you back 70 points. And Crow's the way to go. But Crow pins you down to he pins you down to something. Purifies. Pins you down to that Brotherhood. You got your Tech Marine. Let's see any need to go through that one. Ballistic skill is 2+ for him. He gets blessings of the Omnicide, repairing vehicles, and they get +1 to the hit rolls with Awakening Machine Spirits. 80 points for him. The Chaplain in his Terminator armor, I think to up save, yeah, 5 wounds, 4 attacks base. I don't know whether it's worth taking him or not. 110 points for him. Okay, so that's the HQs. So we're looking at Terminators then. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's just standard now, isn't it, for Terminators? It's up to 3 wounds now with these, as expected. 3 attacks base, which is excellent, and the Justicar is on 4 attacks. So that's all good. 2 up armor save, 5+ invuln save for Crux Terminatus. They know psychic powers. That's pretty much it to cover with those. Standard Terminator will cost you 42 points per model. Ouch. Squad of 10, 420 points plus plus upgrades. Strike squads. Yeah, well, not bad here. This is good news. Strike squads now, they get the 2 wounds as expected, but 3 attacks with these. That's brilliant. Excellent. Very, very good indeed. Not much else to say about those. Strike squads are 22 points a time. You're paying 10 points for a Demon Hammer, for example. Psych Cannon's 5 points to add on to them. But not too bad at all. Yeah, 110 points for a squad. Yep, not bad. Brotherhood Apothecary, 5 attacks base, 5 wounds for him. The usual rules, Nathesium, combat restoratives. For those who knows the psychic power and can deny 1. Pretty useful. But restoring models back to play. 100 points. You give him a hammer, it's 110 in total. It's an extra 10 points for that. The Brotherhood Ancient, 5 wounds, 4 attacks base for him. Looking at 100 points. If you take the Nemesis Fountain, it's 5 points extra. So, Sacred Banner. While a friendly Brotherhood core unit is within 6 inches of this model, it's +1 leadership. While a friendly Brotherhood core infantry unit is within 6 inches, add 1 to attacks characteristic of models in that unit. It's +1 attacks. Could be helpful enough. Helpful enough, not bad. Paladins then. Oh wow, yes. They are 3 wounds and they are 4 attacks base, 5 attacks for the Paragon. Brilliant. Loads of attacks. Nice. Really good. They've beefed these up. Paladins will cost 47 points. Not too bad. 42 to 47. Incinerator will cost you 5. The Demon Hammer 10. Silencer 5. Psych Cannon 10, just to give you an idea. And that's about it. The Purifier Squad, base of 3 attacks for these. Your standard Space Marine still is 1 attack. So these guys onto 3 attacks. This is really good. So they get the Purifier Squad then. It's just the 23 points a time. Psych Cannon's 5, Demon Hammer's 10. And then you're looking at Cleansing Flame. Each time this unit attempts to manifest the Purifying Flame psychic power, it's +1 to the psychic test attempt. Okay. Any number of models can have their Nemesis Force Sword replaced with weapons from the melee weapons list. For every 5 models in the unit, up to 2 Purifiers can have their Stormbolter's Nemesis Force Sword replaced with special weapons. Then you've got Paladin Ancient. 5 wounds, 5 attacks base. Same ability on the banner. Oh, but you've got chapter banner here. In your command phase, select on friendly Grey Knight's core unit within 6 inches until the start of your next command phase. Each time model in that unit makes an attack, it's +1 to the attack's hit rolls. +1 to hit roll and +1 attack. There as well for Sacred Banner. Aura ability. Nice. The Paladin Ancient is 110 points plus upgrades. Okay. You got Servitors, I won't bother with those really. Got the Venerable Dreadnought. There's not much to say about that really, just the same as Space Marines I think. 5 attacks base for him. Usual rules, due to Eternal is really good. Your regular Dreadnought. Usual loadout. Interceptors. Again, base of 3 attacks for these and 4 attacks for the Justicar. Okay, so they've got personal teleporters. Each time this unit makes a normal move, advances or falls back, models in this unit can be moved across other models and their bases as if they were not there, and they can move within engagement range, and they can be moved within engagement range of any models. Okay, in addition, any vertical distance up and or down they can make as part of that move is ignored. However, these models cannot finish this move either on top of another model or its base or within engagement range of enemy models. So there it is with them. Okay. And normal move is 12 inches of those. Nice, really good. Purgation Squad. Base of 3 with these for attacks as well. Let's just have a look at interceptors. So your cost 24 points a time with those. Purgation Squad. On to heavies with these. 22 points a time with them. There's a couple of bit of war gear. Some of the shooting weapons I haven't covered yet. We'll come to that as we reach the summary. Nemesis Dragonite, 13 wounds, 2 up save. Base of 5 attacks does drop down according to damage, so 5 attacks, 4 attacks, 3 attacks. Weapon skill remains 3+. So they're okay. Nemesis Dragonite, I hope they're not too expensive. 120 points base, not bad, but for about 150 odd points you can get something pretty good. And the melee weapon's more potent now. Yep. 4 shielding, 4 up in 1 save for those as well. Okay, Dragonite's pretty good. Can't see any reason why you wouldn't take 3 of them in an army, or 2 of them plus a Grandmaster, perhaps something like that. With those, I love taking the themed stuff for Grey Knights. I choose Dragonite above regular Space Marine type units like these, Land Raiders and for example. As good as they look. I don't know, one Land Raider with a couple of Dragonites around it still looks very cool. Very, very nice. So the variety of Land Raiders, we'll leave them. Razorbacks are available, Rhinos as well. Again, they actually look really nice painted up. For Grey Knights, Stormbolt Interceptors are available. For the full lowdown on these, you can check out the Space Marines Codex review. Storm Talon Gunship, Storm Raven Gunship, which I do love the idea of that for Grey Knights. You can really load it out with some brilliant stuff. Like the twin heavy plasma cannon's fantastic weapon. Heavy 2d3, strength 8, -3, 3 damage on supercharge. Fantastic. The twin multi-melter, heavy 4, strength 8, -4, d6 damage, or d6 +2 in half range. Very potent weapons. So that could be good, just a bit of a bullet magnet. Then your weapon profiles, it's talking about here. And let's just have a little flick through. Flame Storm Cannon is heavy d6, strength 6, -2 damage. It's auto hits on the target. The Gatling Silencer, we've covered that already. It's heavy 12, strength 5, -1, and 1 damage. Heavy Incinerator we've covered already. Covered all of these. Yeah, just checking. I think that's it. The regular Incinerator It's range 12, heavy D6, auto hits on the target, strength 6, -1, and 1 damage for that one. Regular Silencer, range 24, strength, or heavy 6, strength 4, -1, 1 damage with that. The Psy Cannon is range 24, heavy 3, strength 7, -1, 2 damage for that one. And the Dreadnought, no, Nemesis covered that one, Nemesis Falchion, the regular, strength user, -2, 1 damage. If it's equipped with 1 or more falchions, it makes an additional attack using this profile. The Force Halberd, the Nemesis Force Halberd is +2 strength, -2 and 2 damage, decent weapon. And the Force Sword is pretty good as well, it's +1 strength, AP -3, and it's still 2 damage for that as well. Nice. The Warding Stave is +3 strength, -1, 2 damage for that one. Okay, and that's your points values, which you've already covered, and then your reference there at the back of the Codex. That's the review for Grey Knights. We saw some mixed results in there. Some sections looked particularly strong, others, yeah, expensive and not that great. So it's mixed, but I think from this Codex, you're going to be able to put together a pretty good army. It looks like a step in the right direction for sure for the Grey Knights here. There's improvements, looks like they're going to hit harder. Here there's more attacks going on, there's more wounds, and I'm sure there's some fantastic combinations you can go for here. Lots of different things you can start stacking up with stratagems, traits, relics, and tides and so on, putting all these multiple layers that you can build up to make a nicely themed army with some real potency to it. So Grey Knights, I'm sure they'll be fine. I wouldn't say they're particularly weak, just some mixed results come through. Leave your own comments, especially from Grey Knight players, comparing this new Codex to the previous one. Leave your own comments and feedback on that. And then be sure to check out Goblin Gaming. They are the channel sponsors here. Discount 40k and other gaming systems available from them. And if you make a purchase, use the link that's below the video. It's no cost to you, but it does help out the channel in a small way. That's the review. Big thank you to Games Workshop for sending me a copy of this through the post. Keep a lookout for more reviews on the channel. Check out the Thousand Suns review, which is live on the channel as well. Thanks for watching and tune in next time.